Hey, this is Prema Uncensored, where I give you my uncensored opinion about life and stuff. So today I am wearing a green sari, like a dark green sari that fades into yellow and then fades into red. And I decided to match it with a red choli that has like a green and gold border on it. There used to be, like, you can see these faintish white designs. They used to be more prominent. Actually, you could probably see it more on the pallu, kind of. But yeah, my husband did laundry a couple times and completely washed all of the patterns out. He's a very aggressive washer. So since then, like, he's not allowed to wash any of my clothes, none of my saris, nothing. Because saris are like women, you know, you have to be very gentle. You have to be very kind, very delicate. So I got this sari when I was a teenager. I think I was like 15, maybe 17. Feel like I was 17. My mom bought this for me in Canada, so you can see all the different colors here. Yeah, so I'm going to, even though I'm wearing a red choli, you know how I feel about like red on the eyelid, makes you look sick and whatever. So I'm just going to keep doing green, so I'll do green eyeshadow and try to keep everything as green as possible for today's look. So today I was just reflecting on a conversation I had not too long ago. With a couple of friends, and they were trying to break a couple of bad habits that they had. So I thought I'd do a little research and talk about bad habits today and how to break bad habits. My eyeshadow will be from my Urban Decay palette. It's a palette I use pretty often. Y'all are pretty familiar with it. So, corner, eyeshadow, or my eyelid, and then this will be in the crease, just to keep it really simple. Yeah, I'm like the OG of makeup. Like, I'm not a makeup guru that has like tons of palettes, so sorry if you're expecting that from me. I don't. I have a few palettes that I use pretty often, and that's what I do because that's what normal people do. They have a few palettes that they use, some that they stole from a sibling, um, yeah, and some that are really old and you're supposed to throw it out and you just never do. So, in talking about bad habits, I just wanted to say that everybody has bad habits. Like, I have lots of bad habits. So if you feel like you're alone in your bad habit, you're definitely not. There's always someone in the world struggling with the same bad habit as you. Um, like, even if your bad habit is something not terribly serious, like biting your nails, or maybe it's something a little bit more serious, like drug or alcohol abuse. But one thing that's good about bad habits is that they are all solvable. There is a way for you to solve your bad habits. There's a way for you to somehow help yourself or get help. So that's the good news with a bad habit. It's not like ingrained in your character that you just have to live with it forever. So if you have a bad habit, you're not alone, and it's solvable. So let's first talk about what a bad habit is. A bad habit is a negative pattern of behavior that's detrimental to your health. And when we talk about health, it's not just physical health, though it can mean just physical health, but it can be like, you know, your emotional health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. So as long as it's hurting you in some way and hurting your growth, your improvement, hurting your life, it might be a bad habit it's something that you constantly do over and over. So there's a few ways for you to know if you have a bad habit. One is, like we said earlier, if it hurts you, or maybe it hurts the people around you when you engage in this bad habit. So I'll give you an example, like my bad habit. We'll talk about my bad habit because that's what I can relate to. I'm an emotional eater. That's my bad habit. So, you know, when I'm happy, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat. When I'm depressed, I eat. When I'm angry, I eat. When I'm celebrating, I eat. Like, I love to eat. So that's a really bad habit that I've developed. And does it hurt the people around me? Not particularly, but does it hurt myself? Well, yeah, if I keep eating for every little thing and not managing my eating habits, you know, over time, I could end up with some severe health issues. And actually, I wouldn't be dealing with any of my negative feelings in a positive way or in a helpful way. I'd be solving my you know, my negative issues. Like if I feel sad, I'd be solving it with food, and that's not really a good equation. I should try and solve why I'm sad. So is it hurting yourself? Is it hurting the people around you when you do this? If you smoke, right, um, the people that live in your house have that secondhand smoke that they have to deal with all the time. It's not particularly healthy for them, just as an example. Does your bad habit stop you from achieving your goals? So my goal, for example, is to lose weight, right? I need to lose like 100 pounds. I've lost 70 so far, so I'm on the right track. But if I keep emotionally eating, I'll never achieve that goal of losing 100 pounds. So if it stops you from taking initiation, right? If you can't follow certain regulative principles because you're engaged in these bad habits, that's you not achieving your goal. And therefore, it must be a bad habit that you're regularly doing, right? If you keep smoking pot, right? If you keep smoking cigarettes, if you keep drinking alcohol, if you keep gambling, right? You can't take initiation. If you want to take initiation, you know, and accept a guru and follow Krishna consciousness, you might have to work on stopping that pattern of behavior, as an example. So do you have like maybe you're doing this, another thing is if you're using this bad habit because of a trigger that you have. So every time you get stressed out, you smoke. Or like me, every time I get, you know, upset, you know, I eat, right? Every time something bad happens, you go for a drink, right? Are you using it because of something that triggers you to do that habit? Usually that's what offsets a bad habit. And then the last point is like if you have to rationalize your bad habit in order to justify it. So if you're like, well, I have to eat because this really great thing happened, you know? So I should celebrate with eating a really big bowl of ice cream. Or, yeah, you know what? I had such a bad day. I deserve this. You know, I'm just going to, you know. So if you have to rationalize why you're doing your bad habit, then it's probably a bad habit. If you have to rationalize that particular behavior. So if you've listened to this list and it sounds like those are things that pertain to you, like you find yourself justifying your behavior, saying, yes, you know, he was so mean to me, I should go smoke. Or, you know, I had such a bad day, I should go eat. Or whatever. If you find yourself rationalizing your behavior, you find yourself not achieving your goals, you find whatever it is, maybe you need to figure out how to stop those bad habits. The first step is that you actually have to want to stop. So if you're at that point, you're watching this video, then you're pretty dang awesome. Because once you've acknowledged it, next step is wanting to stop. Some people acknowledge that they have a problem and they don't want to stop. Like I could very easily say, listen, like I know I have a bad habit. I know emotional eating is bad, but every year I get a blood test and I have no high cholesterol, no high blood sugar. I don't have, you know, I don't have diabetes. I don't have anything, you know, like I don't have anything. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's not really affecting me right now, and I enjoy it because food is delicious. But my intelligence says that at some point it will catch up with me, so I need to be proactive and start taking care of myself now. So in the same way, like, you may not want to stop because in this moment you're actually kind of enjoying this bad habit. So if you're enjoying what you're doing, if you don't realize the negative outcome of what you're doing, that it's actually not helping you, then you're never going to stop. You know, you may end up in that cycle of, you know, repetitive quitting and going back to it, quitting and going back to it, quitting and going back to it, which is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. I can imagine. So we're going to talk about different ways to quit. You can replace a negative thing with a positive thing. So your bad habit with a good habit. For example, if you're a smoker, okay, one thing with smoking is you have a habit of putting something in your mouth. So instead of putting a cigarette in your mouth, you can chew some gum. Many stop smoking websites, they suggest that. That's not coming from me. For myself, I have to drink water every time I feel hungry. Or if I want to celebrate, I have to celebrate with something that is not food related. So if I want to celebrate a good day at work, I go for a walk or I go for a bicycle ride. I do something that I enjoy that's physically good for me. Or maybe, if I manage to chant, 60 rounds. I'm just making something up here, right? I can buy myself a new java bag instead of buying myself a delicious slice of Mahaprasadam cake. Although Mahaprasadam cake is delicious. Another thing is you should avoid situations that trigger your bad habits. So if you have a habit of getting stressed out and therefore you start smoking, you should avoid stressful situations, or maybe you start meditating or something like that to help you with your stress. Or like if every time you get into traffic, you pull out a cigarette, maybe you start taking the long way home and you take like a scenic route so that you don't feel that way. So you could old school, slowly change your habit over time. So, you go from 5 cigarettes to 4 to 3 to 2, or you can go cold turkey and none at all. Like, I just woke up one day and was like, I gotta stop eating like this. I gotta stop living like this. The way you look is not the way you actually feel about yourself. Your weight doesn't match your brain. Like, the way I see myself in my brain is not what I see when I look in the mirror, So I felt like I needed to change that. So just see what can you do to make this process, this bad habit go away. Maybe you slow down to nothing, or you just stop altogether and just say, I've just had enough of this. I'm not doing it anymore. And that's fine too. That's amazing, and doing it that way. Yeah, it is hard. You can get withdrawal. Like, I definitely get withdrawal from sugar. Sugar is really addictive. I was watching something that said sugar is as addictive as heroin. So I was like, what? So, yeah, and I do get, crabby, and I do get like, that itch, that desire, like, I have to have sugar, I need to have ice cream, I need to have, a Snickers without eggs. And you just kind of have to fight that feeling, that desire. There is a method that's been proven. I'll put the link below to that research, but it's something called the if-then method. I'm trying to talk while y'all know I have issues putting on liner while talking at the same time. Anyway, something called the if-then method. So the if-then method means basically that you make a plan for yourself, because sometimes you can't avoid certain situations, Sometimes you have to go to that party because of social reasons. Sometimes, you have to be put in certain situations. Not all the time, but sometimes, and then you need to make a plan for yourself. If I get stressed out, then I will do a 5-minute meditation. If I get depressed, then I will watch a funny movie. If I'm in a social situation and they tell me to drink, I'll tell them I have to drive home and I'll just have soda. Okay, just to give you some examples. And they say people who do this method, this if-then method, they have a higher success rate than any other method. So I would say make a plan for yourself with this if-then method. If you have certain situations that trigger you into your bad habits, set yourself up for success, not for failure. And then I was also kind of thinking about a verse from Bhagavad Gita that I really like. Hold on, let me put this thing on and then I'll get my Gita, which I conveniently have right next to me. I've been not feeling well these last few days. I don't know why. Like, even today, I kept wanting to fall asleep. I feel like my iron has been really low. since the miscarriage, and I really need to take some iron supplements. I can't find any good ones in Mayapur. So the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 59, has an interesting verse that I refer to many times that I really like. And it says, though the embodied soul, chapter 2, verse 59, look it up. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remain. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he's fixed in consciousness. So what it is that you need to have something that's worth more than your bad habit, is essentially what it's saying. I mean, I know they're talking about spiritual stuff. I'm sorry, the lighting is kind of dark right now because it's going to rain, but I know they're talking about, you know, Krishna, like Krishna is your higher taste, Krishna consciousness is your higher taste. But just to talk about it, I mean, you can read the Bhagavad Gita really from any level, and eventually quitting your bad habits does get you to that higher level. So what you need to do is find your higher taste. You need to find your higher reasoning. You need to find your goal. You need to find your motivation. For me, it's I want to look in the mirror the way I do in my head. You know, for me, it's for some people, the higher motivation is, look, I need to take initiation. The higher motivation is, look, I need to be an example for my kids. The higher motivation is, look, I need money. You know, whatever your motivation is, you quit your bad habits so that you can achieve your goals, so that you can you know, get that higher taste, that thing that says, boy, this is much better than the stupid stuff that I was doing before. So find your higher taste. What's the reason for you to stop your bad habit? Otherwise, you're not going to stop it because you're just being forced into something that you don't feel in your heart. So, and then you'll just keep falling back. That taste, that lower taste, will just keep coming back to get you. So that's about all I had about bad habits. If you have any thoughts about it, if you want to add anything, just leave a comment below. I'd love to discuss this with you. Or if you yourself are getting over a bad habit, or you just got over a bad habit, it'd be great to hear like what you did or what you went through to get over it. Just like me, like I'm still struggling with emotional eating. So for me, it's like a conscious daily habit of saying, are you hungry or are you just emotional? Are you hungry or are you just bored? Are you hungry or are you just depressed? You know, like it's still like I'm not over it, but I'm working on it. And yeah, there's definitely results. You know, my clothes are looser. I feel like I look kind of better, you know. So we'll talk about that. I'm going to finish getting dressed and then you'll see my final look. Okay, I'm back. This is the final look. I decided to do my hair in a bun and like do like an Indian hair bump type thing, you know, like, I don't know, here whenever there's a festival, you see all these Indian ladies and they put like a big old bump in their hair. And I've only done this like one other time, and my husband saw it and he was like, what is that? Get that out of your hair right now. And I was like, well, I already did my hair, so we gotta go. And then I got to the temple, and this lady who I've never seen before and never saw after that, like came up to me and was like, oh my God, you look so beautiful, you look like a gopi. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. So I guess this bump thing is working for me, but I don't do it very often because, I don't know, I already got a big head, I don't want it to look bigger. Anyway, but I decided to do that today. I've got a green bindi to match my green eyeshadow and my green sari. I've got green earrings. These are like Walmart earrings, so yeah. Green Jagannath pendant that I just love, love, love. Always my pearl necklace. I've got a yellow nose pin just because I couldn't find a green one. I went with a nude lip, like a very subtle lip color today. Just because there was just so much heavy colors going on, I didn't want to do another heavy color on top of that. I just wanted to keep it neutral, and you know I like putting more attention on my eyes, so I just wanted to keep everything kind of light because we've already done something quite dark on top. And I've got some red and green bracelets here that I'm wearing to match the outfit. And I think that's it. That's all I've got today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, or if you want to contribute or you want to comment. If there's something that you want to hear me talk about, definitely leave a comment below and I'll get to it. You can, all my information, and by the way, is in the description box. My email address. You can subscribe to my channel for sure. I would appreciate it and love it. You can add me on Dham Productions on Facebook, or you can add me on Instagram. I'm Prema. And other than that, Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you are having a great day, you had a great day, or you're gonna have a great day. Bye, friends. Does anyone else have this like weird habit where they pull all their baby hair up into like the front of their head? I do that sometimes. I don't know why.